afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Propagandacaster with me, your host, Imperial Dane, looking today at the 81mm M1 USF Mortar here, recently added to the United States Forces here, available at 260 munitions right from the barracks, the starting building of the Americans, which rather makes it a unique mortar since another mortar is that early available on. In terms of performance, though, it's sort of rated, I think, roughly around the Wehrmacht mortar. Currently, the only sort of real difference, basically, from it and most other mortars is, in fact, its veteran to one ability just means there's less scatter, meaning overall veteran to American mortar will be notably more accurate auto-firing than most other mortars, actually, making in that sense a bit more sort of nasty, just sort of sit down and sort of fire away, though it won't be generally as murderous as it was at sort of the initial addition of it, where things were rather bugged out. Of course, it also possesses smoke, which of course is quite handy for some suppressing buildings with machine guns in them, other nasty bits, anti-tank guns, or just say scattering up your opponent's defenses suddenly throws smoke right into the midst of them. Generally, you'll want to use some supporting your riflemen's attacks, or sort of set up behind it to support the defense as well. Use barrage, for example, to clear up certain support weapons with Dargan infantry. Or again, use smoke, for example, there's an MD42 you can't quite reach, you just want to get past quickly. Then, for example, can smoke it out here as well, ensuring it can't actually fire at your men. Can also be used against anti-tank guns or any other sort of nasty little problem you might have. So in that regard, it gives the Americans quite a lot of utility there in the early game, much more than they sort of have since they can now sort of more flexibly deal with different threats. And for example, can also work quite nicely with rifle company with flamethrowers. For example, smoke a building, move up flamethrower echelons, then burn out the offending party, as an example. But generally keep it behind your rifleman, depending, of course, if you're attacking or defending. Of course, if it's defending, say, keep it further back. But otherwise, you want to sort of keep it somewhat close to the front line, since generally the less distance between, let's say, the mortar and the target, the more accurate it will be. Which applies to all mortars and generally all artillery. Little fun fact there. Otherwise, do be watchful, as your opponent will try to silence either with his own mortars, or he will try and rush it with infantry and quickly wipe it out and then turn it against you if possible. So do keep that little detail in mind while utilizing your M1 81mm mortar. Otherwise, it's pretty much like every other mortar in the game. Shoot, smoke, and win the war one way or the other. So there you go. So I think roughly covers it. Again, the really thing that only makes it stand out is basically available from the barracks, and it's actually slightly more expensive than most of the regular medium mortars, but also it gets more accurate sort of than most other mortars as well, though not massively so. And that's only on auto-fire barraging, it will still be sort of not that effective. I mean, otherwise its veterancy is pretty much like every other mortar. Veterancy 2, higher rate of fire, less scatter. Veterancy 3, more range on both regular and barrages. So that sort of roughly covers it. I think overall, not really so much else to say about this little mortar. Just, be wary of it. On the German side, of course, you basically want to kill it as quickly as possible, and, try and possibly steal it, using assault infantry like Sturm Pioneers, Panzer Grenadiers, vehicles, for example, that way, rush it, steal it, take it back to your base and turn it against your opponent. Of course, do be mindful of any smoke barrages, though most players generally don't use them, but still, do be mindful. So thank you all for joining in. I hope this Propagandacast Lehr was helpful and educational. If you're watching out, feel free to subscribe, like, and share, and I'll be back another time with another Propagandacast Lehr on other topics. So thank you all, and see you another time. Cheers.